The Grand Combin is a mountain in the western Pennine Alps in Switzerland. With its 4,314 meters high summit, it is one of the highest peaks in the Alps and the second most prominent of its range. The Grand Combin is also a large glaciated massif consisting of several summits, among which 3 are above 4,000 meters. The normal route starts from the Panossière Hut, which lies on the north side in the Corbassière valley. Despite the fact that no major difficulties exist, a particularly dangerous passage has to be traversed on the north flank, Le Corridor. It is a couloir dominated by seracs continuously falling on it. Geography. The massif of the Grand Combin lies south of Verbier between the Val d'Entremont and Val de Bains. The northwestern-facing side of Grand Combin is entirely covered by eternal snows and glaciers which are prone to serac falls. The southern and eastern walls are more steep and thus exempt of snow. The topography of the Grand Combin is intricate. Between the Val d'Entremont and the Val de Bains are 2 high ridges, nearly parallel to each other and to those valleys, which both diverge from a short transverse ridge of great height. The southern end of the space enclosed between these 3 ridges is an elevated plateau of great extent, where the snows accumulate and feed the Corbassière glacier, which descends thence for about 10 kilometers to the north. The glacier is surrounded by the peaks of Petit Combin, Combin de Corbassière and Combin de Beauvera on the west, Grand Tavert and Tournalon Blanc on the east. Smaller glaciers lie on the external flanks such as Beauvera and Mont Durand Glacier. At the southeast extremity of the plateau, the highest part of the enclosing ridge is surmounted by 2 conical summits, of which the higher southwest point is 4,314 meters in height, while the neighboring northeast summit is lower by less than 60 meters. 2 other minor summits over 4,000 meters are located on the ridge: the Grand Combin de Valsaury on the west and the Combin de Lizesset on the east. On the west side, the plateau sinks to a considerably lower level, and over this lies the Col des Maisons Blanches, by which access to the Corbassière valley is obtained from the side of the Val d'Entremont. All the waters flowing on the region end up in the Drans River and the Rhône. After Dom Weisshorn, it is the highest massif of the Alps situated out of the main chain. South of the Grand Combin, the ridge separating the glaciers of Mont Durand and Sonidon reaches the Grand-État by a few kilometers away, which is located on the main watershed. The ridge diverges to the southwest and appears to be continuous with the range of the Aiguilles Vertes, or Aiguilles de Valsaury, and that of Mont Velin. For this branch is the lower range, which divides the channel of the Glacier du Mont Durand from the Val d'Olomont in the Aosta Valley, and extends by the Col de Fenêtre to the Mont Gelée. Climbing history. The Grand Combin, which yields in height to only a few European mountains, was long one of the least known of alpine summits. The first to commence the exploration of the great massif which separates the Val de Bains from the Val d'Entremont was Gottlieb Samuel Studer, of Bern, who on August 14, 1851, reached for the first time the summit of the Combin de Corbassière with the guide Joseph Benjamin Felly, and has published an account of that and a subsequent excursion in Berg and Gletscherfahrten. He was followed in the descent 5 years later by W. and C. E. Matthews, and in 1857, William Matthews anticipated Studer in the ascent of the second peak of the Grand Combin. The first 4 expeditions on Grand Combin reached only the minor summit east of Grand Combin. The first one was made by mountain guides from the valley on July 20, 1857. The first complete ascent of Grand Combin was finally made on July 30, 1859 by Charles St. Clair de Ville with Daniel, Emmanuel and Gaspard Ballès and Basile d'Orsaz. The Grand Combin de Valsaury on the west was reached for the first time on the 16th of September 1872 by J.H. Isla and J. Gilios. They climbed the south-south face above the Plateau du Coloya. The itinerary on the southeast ridge was opened on 10 September 1891 by O. Glyn Jones, A. Bovere and P. Gaspos. Climbing huts. Panossière Hut, north side. The Valsori Hut, southwest side. Bivouac Biagio Muso, south side.